Hello everyone, welcome back to another market review for today. So today was a very annoying day to say the least. Overall, my bias for today was correct and I took two trades that were completely valid and according to my plan, but they were both losses and then the real move happened. So a really frustrating day, but not much to do about it. So it was almost minus 2R today, two trades. So yeah, I'll be going over what I was looking at here. So starting on the pre-market, we can see that the only news event we had here today was FOMC meeting minutes at 2 p.m. So I would look for setups at 9 a.m. like usual. When we don't have any volatility injection before that. So on the higher time frame, I'm paying attention to this. We tapped into this weekly fair value gap. Now, we have been extremely bullish at all-time highs, so tapping into a weekly fair value gap, if we get some kind of bullish confirmation from here, then I would expect price to go higher just because, we're in price discovery mode. And sure enough, normally I confirm this level. Normally what I have to see to confirm this level that we are in fact going from internal range liquidity back to external range liquidity is bullish SMT one or two time frames below. So that would be the previous month low or previous week low SMT. Now when we go to the intermediate term time frame, we can see that we have in fact a previous week low SMT. YM closed below previous week low, and ES and NQ merely took previous week low out but didn't manage to close below. That is a wick to body SMT. And as you can see, all assets had a bullish change in state delivery to the upside. So already we started to see a bullish reaction from this weekly level, a bullish SMT and a bullish displacement higher. So this now has given me a solid framework to look for continued higher prices back to all-time highs, essentially. When we go to the 90-minute chart, we can also see that we had a previous day low SMT right here. YM took out previous day low, and NQ and ES failed to take out previous day low. So overall, we had a previous week low SMT inside a weekly level, and a previous day low SMT. So a pretty strong framework to look for higher prices today. Also on the 90-minute chart, I like how we're tapping into a 90-minute fair value gap. And I normally like to see price move, fractally. We like to look for internal range liquidity to external. Then we look for the same thing also on a low time frame. I would expect bullish reactions from these fair value gaps. So yeah, my game plan for today was very simple. I was bullish. Invalidation of my idea would be if we invalidated previous day low SMT, because that means NQ and ES had to really, crash lower a lot. And my game plan for today was long off bullish SMTs at the open. And we did get SMTs. So now let's going into the trades. This is my first trade. Right at 9:30, this grey box here highlighted is the 90-minute fair value gap I had shown. So as you can see, we tapped into it just before market open, and then we had equities open and then change in state delivery higher. As you can see, we have a previous 90-minute low SMT. YM took out previous 90-minute low, and took it out. YM closed below previous 90-minute low, and also ES, but NQ didn't close below. As you can see here, it just wicked it and then displaced higher. So this is my first trade. I took a trade here, and I was targeting overall. I was targeting the not previous day high, but this swing high up here. So that was a very quick loss. Price just instantly went against me and took me out. And I was like, okay, I have to remember I still have another bullet in the chamber, another trade that I can take for the day. And sure enough, another opportunity presented itself, which was this previous session low SMT right here. Oh, I didn't take a very good picture of it. Let me show here. So you can see here that NQ and ES made a higher low, but on YM we made a lower low. We took out previous session low. So we dug lower, still respecting this 90-minute fair value gap that I have marked. We dug lower and then had a bullish change in state delivery higher, as you can see here. And I entered at the close of that candle. And I was just targeting higher. And as you can see here, we had a little pop-up and then went into drawdown, swept me out again for another loss. So that was me done for the day because I had 2 losses for the day. And then price respected the same fair value gap again and continued higher. So overall, the bias today was correct. Unfortunately, the trades I took weren't the right timing. And yeah. So there it is. As you can see on that 90-minute chart, that fair value gap that I had marked out, we respected it very nicely and continued higher. It's just a shame that I got 2 losses from it. So now I'm still bullish in price, of course. After today's reaction, I'd still expect higher prices still. But in terms of my account is looking pretty rough, not gonna lie. This is my equity curve for the year. As you can see, my profit factor is still, at around 2, which is, profitable and good. But just for kind of like, just to show, throughout this whole up move, I was on the challenge phase, and I literally started my funded account right at the top of my equity curve. And all this down move has been straight drawdown on my funded account. So this has been pretty difficult for me. It's been a tough going of it, really. Right now I'm sitting at like minus 6.15 R drawdown, I think. Around 6 R, just over 6 R drawdown. What I'm gonna do now is my plan is to cut my risk a bit. I'm usually risking $750 a trade. I'm going to risk $500 a trade. So I'm going to lower my risk by 1/3 and just focus on kind of getting the account, like clawing myself out of drawdown. I know that, when I lower my risk to $500, then I would need, I think, around 9R to get back to break even, which is quite a lot, but at least that gives me a little bit more room to trade in drawdown by cutting risk a bit. And I'm just gonna have to focus and continue to try and like trade as best as I can, because I feel like if I continue risking the same amount, it's going to be hard for me to take these setups to a certain degree. So I feel like lowering the risk by 1/3 will make me still be able to execute normally, or relatively normally in my eyes, and not have that much kind of like anxiousness, So yeah, overall, I would still rate this day a 10 out of 10 in terms of like performance and habits. It's just unfortunate that the day was a loss. And yeah, I'm just going to lower my risk and continue to trade. And hopefully one day I can claw myself out of drawdown. That would be pretty sweet. But until then, I'm just going to have to keep on applying myself and taking good setups, and we'll see where things go. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.